A leather bar? Anyway, hello. I'm Mickey Mouse.
Which one? Hold on. We have to be very clear.
Yeah, that's true.
Which Mickey Mouse?
I am the only Mickey Mouse, the one who is and was and always shall be the star of Steamboat Willie.
Yes, correct.
And Plane Crazy. And when I'm not saluting my framed photograph of Charles Lindbergh,
Oh,
which
no.
I have in my home.
No. As a former San Diegan, do not name things after that man.
When I'm not doing that, I like to drive steamboats around while tormenting the local cat who owns the boat, Peter. And while on the boat, I also like to play little tunes that are, of course, fondly remembered classics of minstrelsy
Oh, no.
in American popular culture. That is me, Mickey Mouse, who I am, who owns this show, and this show owns him, me, that is, Mickey Mouse. I am the known intellectual property of the worst of all possible worlds.
Yes. We own and operate
Mickey Mouse.
out of Mickey
That's
Mouse.
right.
Yes. And I, Mickey Mouse, am here to let you guys know that I have acquired a bunch of other really interesting IPs,
Okay.
such as Pirates of the Caribbean,
Oh.
Cinderella
Okay.
in general,
Sure. Yeah.
and Marvel's The Avengers.
Oh, shit.
Which has also entered the public domain by my hand.
So many possible worlds, but we got this one. So many possible worlds, but we got this one.
Welcome to the Worst of All Possible Worlds, the first and only all public domain podcast. I'm the worst of all possible Joshes.
I'm the worst of all possible AJs.
And I'm Mickey Mouse.
But we are not here today to talk
No.
about whistling. We're not here
No.
today to talk about Mickey Mouse.
No, we're here to talk
who
about
may or may not have
something-
committed war crimes in the
okay,
70s.
I guess I'm just here as chopped Mickey Mouse.
No, we're here to talk about something much, much
We
worse.
are talking about Donkey Kong Country, not the games.
Not the games.
Not the game. No.
Not
What-
the beloved Nintendo 64
Although,
game.
There's not much to say about the games. They look nice and they don't play very well.
I disagree.
Oh, I disagree.
I disagree.
You think they
They're
look
great.
bad?
I think they
Oh,
look
wow.
good, and I
play-
think they play pretty
yeah,
well.
they play pretty well.
Okay, wait, are we talking
They
about...
have an interesting set of like the first few levels, and then they kind of lose whatever makes them magical, in my opinion.
And I think the modern games go a long way towards sort of extending that longevity, but I still think you can pick up and play those original games, and they're a barrel of monkeys.
You can sure pick them up, and there are monkeys. Apes and monkeys.
Apes.
Well, Diddy's a monkey. He has a tail.
That's true.
Yeah,
and
Dixie is a
Dixie's a
monkey.
monkey too. But
Does she have a tail? Does she just tuck it in her
She
clothes?
tucks it in her
Wow.
clothes. It kind of
Yeah.
like snakes around like a microphone.
we're all doing great. And the reason that we're doing great is that I decided to subject Brian and AJ to 4 episodes of the Donkey Kong Country animated series.
Yeah, this is
Yes.
a fun little bit of lore for us because usually Josh introduces me to really horrible things that I've missed out on here and there throughout life.
Shake that bear.
Shake that bear.
Yep. Could have gone my whole life without shaking that bear.
Jerry beans.
Yep. Jerry Beans is good.
I don't
That
know.
katana
The
thing.
katana thing. Yep. Hanwei Forge XL Practical Katana. Yeah.
I actually introduced this to you, Josh, because I grew
Oh.
up watching television and doing little else.
Sure.
AJ had activities. He was a child actor, of course.
Right.
He
I was
was
a child
appearing
actor.
on local soap operas.
I was.
Yeah.
Name one. Name a
General Hospital Los Angeles edition.
Yeah, we actually got in trouble because we actually used Mickey Mouse before he went into the public domain, and that show was canceled immediately.
Yeah, they wouldn't let me, Mickey Mouse, break my contract.
No, no.
And Josh, you didn't know what television was until 2008.
That's true, yeah.
Because of your strict Christian Reformed upbringing.
That's right.
Yeah, what was the first show you watched, Josh? Was it General Hospital Michigan?
on
edition?
television, it was General Hospital Grand Rapids. Yeah,
No,
it was
I-
actually
yeah.
it was set at Butterworth Hospital.
I would
wow.
guess. I would guess because of the
Love
way
their
Grand
syrup.
Rapids people are and the way that they do love their local stuff. That Josh, if you really plumbed the depths of the first TV show you saw, I would not be surprised if it was some sort of like Western Michigan local access TV joint.
Oh, I was going to say that. Yeah, I mean, if there was like an actual, Grand Rapids soap opera, I would have been in it at some point. Like that's just.
Well, that was
Oh,
down
that's-
Gilead
yeah.
Lane, really.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. think so, Coach.
Grape Kool-Aid.
It's so funny. I don't remember either of those lines from that show. I've blocked that show
it's not
almost
memorable.
entirely
It's not
from my
memorable.
memory.
Good idea.
Oh, good idea.
So this Donkey Kong TV show is this weird curiosity that I remember seeing because
Yeah.
at some point, Pat Robertson's TV channel,
What?
which was originally Christian Broadcasting Network, the one that had commissioned those old Christian animes, The Flying House and Superbook, became the Family Channel, which is where I got my fix for Batman, 60s Batman, and Happy Days when I was a little kid. So because my parents, like many parents at this time, they took advantage of the ability to record television onto a VHS cassette tape. So we had a bunch of cassette tapes of classic Batman episodes, which was pretty good because then Batman was not released on home video format for many decades as one of the like really famous rights disputes.
Oh, wow.
But that was always on the Family Channel, which of course had Pat Robertson on with the 700 Club, which persisted through, and he's now dead, but the 700 Club still lives on Freeform. So Family Channel got bought by News Corp. Fox made Fox Family and flooded this channel with new or new-ish programming. So they commissioned a whole bunch of new stuff. Of course, I talked about watching that Frank Peretti horror movie way back in one of our first episodes, Hangman's Curse.
Oh, right.
I think the episode is called Autoparetic Asphyxiation. That we did with our friends, the Sinister Sisters. And they had like a Heathcliff show. They had an 8th grade alien or something like that. They had
I remember that show.
Real 90s kids remember.
Yeah, they had Big Wolf on campus.
Oh, I actually remember that one.
Wow. And the werewolf, he had his friend Merton. It was a real cut up. Yeah.
And it should
Some
be...
of this was like Canadian TV. They also brought S Club 7 over, but then they had like new programming and this French Canadian show, Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Not French Canadian.
No. French, comma, Canadian.
French, comma, the English part of Canada.
Merton, I'm still stuck on Merton. He sounds to me like another character that Disney just released into the public domain, but one no one really wanted. Like, it's just like a goozy, like some
Merton of the Canadian TV show Big Wolf on Campus.
Yeah. He sounds like a caterpillar who's just like oozing.
Do you want to know what
like,
his
Mickey?
Do you want to know what his character trait is?
Sure.
He loves Yoo-hoo.
Oh,
He's much like Richard Nixon in that regard.
He's drinking Yoo-hoo all the time.
is that his one thing? Is that his gimmick that he likes drinking
well,
chocolate
I think he's kind
milk?
of goth, and so he knows stuff about the supernatural things that the Big Wolf on campus has to deal with. Like he's the Giles, but he's a Giles that loves Yoo-hoo.
This is thrilling. And I wish we could keep talking about this, but we're limited for time.
Yeah, but either way, I ended up watching a lot of Donkey Kong Country when I was a kid. Probably all of it, but I didn't watch it frequently because I didn't like it that much.
With Donkey Kong Country, the animated series, I know that on Family Network, Fox Family, that thing, they aired some of the episodes like as a consolidated movie, but then they also did air all of the original episodes.
They did just like air the episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, there were some like home video releases that kind of squished some movies together.
Right. Okay.
But like what I saw was half-hour TV shows with inexplicable musical numbers.
Got it. As you were mentioning, Brian, the situation with the newly christened Fox Family Channel, because after they
christened is correct.
Yeah, that's right.
It remains christened every time that they start it up. They have to baptize it. Yeah.
Spider-Man is actually canonically Protestant.
It's true. That happened. The sort of transition was completed in 1998, and so they had so much programming that they just needed to fill slots with.
Yeah, right.
And so they really were just going out and grabbing whatever they could. Now, it's worth noting that some of this was because of the connections of Haim Sabin, a.k.a. the Power Rangers guy, who, just had a lot of connections with a lot of different content producers, but they were just grabbing whatever they fucking could.
Yeah. It's interesting that Haim Sabin or Saban was also a composer, because he composed the theme song to another one of these shows based on a video game. So the very first show based on a video game was Pac-Man. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
No, I haven't.
Yes.
It sucks
awful. It's
so
awful.
bad. It was Hanna-Barbera, and I mean, like,
Oh, it's
Hanna-Barbera
animated.
was already bad enough. I would love to know what was in your head until that moment where you thought there was a live action Pac-Man
so go
TV
there,
show.
go there. Okay,
Oh my
okay.
God.
You know the quarry where they filmed every Power Rangers fight?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's that.
Okay.
Giant man in a foam mascot Pac-Man eyeless suit.
Okay.
Right?
So it's a
Giant
big
pellets
round ball, or
Yeah.
was it like
Big
the
round ball
old Pac-Man where
with
he's
the
kind
wedge.
of...
He's got the wedge.
just the wedge.
Right,
Okay.
with yellow legs coming
Yep,
out.
I'm into it.
Giant pellets, and then you just watch a man run around a quarry being chased by ghosts.
Okay, so that's better probably
Yeah.
than what
Oh,
we
yeah,
got,
honestly,
which is just a
honestly.
wretched show where you have the 4 ghosts, and then there's like a boss ghost who's like, go get Pac-Man, and then they're like, we're gonna go get Pac-Man, and then Pac-Man just kicks their ass, and then they go back every single time.
Is there a Ms. Pac-Man? in
Yes,
this
there
one?
is.
Okay.
They
and
kiss.
the baby too,
And
right?
There's
Isn't the baby in it?
Pac-Man
Yeah.
is in there. It's just that's the whole show, and they made multiple episodes, and it was a hit. So this was an ABC show,
Okay.
with Hanna-Barbera, which again, like 70s Hanna-Barbera was bad enough. This is the absolute low point in American animation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like we are not winning any sort of fight for aesthetics. People do not watch programs from this time that are animated.
Right.
Even the movies, they really suffer.
and when was this? What year?
This was 82.
This was 82. Okay.
So
yeah.
in 83, CBS decides to produce their own thing, which is called Saturday Supercade. So they got Ruby Spears, which was 2 guys that split off of Hanna-Barbera.
Okay.
This is again last names, and it sounds like it's 2 chicks, but it's 2 dudes.
It actually kind of sounds like a pop singer.
Yeah.
So it's Britney Spears' sister, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The other sister.
Not Jamie Lynn, yeah.
Yeah, she has a sister.
So Ruby Spears are actually the 2 guys that invented the Scooby-Doo gang. They were
shit.
working for Hanna-Barbera. So they left that studio, started their own, were never quite as successful, also made a bunch of dog shit cartoons, including Saturday Supercade. And Saturday Supercade was a little bit more of like a variety show where you'd have little shorts based on the properties of different cartoons. So they did that for Q*bert. There were a bunch of Q*bert
yes.
shorts, which
Okay,
I think I've seen.
I think I've seen those too. Yeah.
But this also is the first time that Donkey Kong got animated for a cartoon.
Oh.
So Donkey Kong was in the regular rotation. Every week there would be a different Donkey Kong, Mario, and Pauline short.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I think I've
Donkey
seen some of
Kong's
those.
voice was provided by the comedian Soupy Sales.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Mario was Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime. Also, weirdly, Peter Cullen.
me, Mario. Whoa.
Also, weirdly, Peter Cullen was the voice of King Kong in the 70s King Kong.
Oh.
Pauline was Judy Strangest. I don't know who she is. I'm sure she's lovely.
Okay.
So there were a few other video games that would get featured on this. What was that Laserdisc one that was in space that was like Dragon's Lair, but it was in space?
Oh, space.
Is
know
it
the
just
one-
called Space Quest?
I think so.
No, Space Quest is the
That's
Sierra
the Sierra.
game. Whatever.
yeah.
It's
one of those. But then Dragon Quest did get its own TV show after this. Sega's Pole Position got a TV show. I don't even know what you would do with that. It's just cars.
Yeah, I got a pole position for that.
stop.
Strange.
I need you to stop.
Ooh. Ooh, that's so dirty. Mickey Mouse, will have nothing of this kind of lewd behavior.
Don't worry, you're not gonna get dirty. You're
I
wearing
only want to
gloves,
fuck
baby.
mice. I want
Oh,
to fuck little rodents.
oh.
The smaller, the better.
Oh.
This has been Mickey's Mouse Corner.
Ooh. And I do have to just say for Saturday Supercade, yes, Hal Smith was on it.
Yes!
There we go, baby.
Wait, what did he voice?
I couldn't see, but he did I think just a couple of little minor voices on a
That's
couple
wonderful.
of shorts.
That
He
makes
was
me
not
so
one of the
happy.
regulars. There were some other Adventures in Odyssey.
I see the credit on IMDb is Hal Smith as additional voices.
Yeah.
So this show also
wah-wah.
had voices by Dick Beals, who we had listened to on Adventures in Odyssey, and Pete Renaday, who we had listened to on Adventures in Odyssey, and probably some others. I think there are some Simpsons voice actors in that mix.
Nice.
But Nintendo kind of ran with this for a while, right? There was a Super Mario Brothers.
Super Show.
Well, before that, there was even a fully animated Japanese movie that didn't come stateside. Then there was the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, which had live action segments with Captain Lou Albano and animated segments. And boy, that show sucked so much fucking dog dick.
Very, very
It
bad.
was
so bad.
too many. It was too many people like trying to control the property.
Yeah.
Like it was the writers coming up with ideas, and then they had to clear it with the studio heads, and then they had to clear that with Nintendo,
Right.
and it was too much. Like there were too many barriers. to get that
it was
show
just
made.
there to sell, breakfast cereal, like so many cartoons of the 80s. This was what Deke was built on. This was the animation studio that we all knew was Dick,
Mispronounced.
but always
it's
had the
definitely
small
Dick.
child
It's gotta
read
be
out
Dick.
the word Deke at the end, just so you have to have that in your head and not go to your parents and be like, I just saw the Dick show, Mom.
But you have seen, of course, the video of the guy who just saying it's the same exact thing, except that rather than the child
just
saying
yells
Deke, it's a
Dick.
guy going, Dick!
So yeah, Super Mario Brothers Super Show happens. Of course, we get like the Mega Man cartoon. There's an American Mega Man cartoon, which is a separate show.
Yeah.
There's the Legend of Zelda cartoon, and then there's
Even
also
worse, yeah.
Excuse me, what?
Oh, it's horrific.
The Legend of Zelda cartoon?
Yeah.
Yes.
Excuse me, Mickey.
And then there was also Captain N.
Yes,
The dreadful Captain N, which also is one of the first sources for like major Zelda lore.
By the way, if you are interested in learning a little bit more sort of about these early Nintendo shows, Matt Paprocki did a really great article for Polygon in June of 2020, which we will link in the notes. Just wanted to throw that out there as well.
Yeah.
Writing that in the midst of the pandemic, so I'm sure this was a wonderful escape.
Had plenty of time.
It was very funny because when we were reading that particular article, there were a lot of quotes from the people involved, and I was like, wow, he really like got a lot of people to respond to this article. I'm like, oh, it was June of 2020.
Yeah.
They had nothing else going on.
Nothing.
Nintendo then kind of lets it all get a little out of hand. And of course, we get the infamous, fabulously, bafflingly terrible movie, the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Right.
Which
With Bob Hoskins in the career low for him. He never wanted to
career
talk
nadir.
about that
Somehow
fucking thing.
even worse than heart condition, which
Yeah.
is saying something.
Yeah, he had the worst time of his life on that
Yeah.
thing. John Leguizamo was trying his best to like create like a positive set, and Bob Hoskins was just like, "This movie fucking sucks."
And it was,
like,
it was
every
like
turn.
the creators of Max Headroom who had kind of become stratospheric successes overnight. It was a married couple, which you can see that there might be some problems that emerged from that. And apparently they did. They were just awful on set. They had to be fired. And then they hired a new director. And just the piss poor reception and bad finances of it really made Nintendo skittish about diluting the power of their product. So they said, okay, we're going to have lots of merchandising and shit like that. We're not going to be making so many movies and TV shows.
But in 1997, then,
Yes.
we do get a partnership between Nintendo and I'm just reading straight now from the Polygon article, French-Canadian animation company Media Lab Technology.
Yeah.
Now, Media Lab is in association with a company called Nelvana. If you've ever heard of Nelvana, it's because they did the Care Bears animated
Franklin.
series. Yes. Just going to quote straight from the article. In the U.S., the series came over as a quote-unquote movie, a few episodes cut together under the title The Legend of the Crystal Coconut. In Canada, the series ran for 40 episodes. Writer Simon Raciopa, I don't know. Apologies, Simon. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Says the show had a Bible with basic rules. I don't remember any Nintendo-led story restrictions, but many of those would have been covered by the fact that it was a kid's show and had a lot of necessary standards to it just because of that fact.
Yeah.
E.g., Donkey Kong was never going to strangle anyone because no kids show character ever strangles anyone, says Raciopa.
Obviously, he has not seen my work. I'm Mickey Mouse.
I keep forgetting that. You keep
It's weird. You're right
keep taking
here.
off your ears.
I'm what they call a hidden Mickey.
Oh yeah, Mickey
That was
actually.
really good, Brian. That was really good.
Mickey makes
I
his
hate to
living.
hand it to you.
It is very funny that we have to record this podcast by entering Pirates of the Caribbean, getting
Yes.
off the boat,
which is
and going
officially
into the set.
officially the property of the worst of all possible worlds.
That's true. We own it.
Yeah.
I went to Disneyland while I was in California.
Nice.
Did
you
you
have fun?
really?
Oh, you went around New Year's? That's a terrible
Well,
time to
bad
go.
time.
The interesting
time.
thing was my sister was like very good at planning the thing and knew
Okay.
exactly like how to optimize. So,
Sure, yeah.
so I got to go on all the big rides. You know, I was able to
Good.
go on the Star Wars ones. I was able to go
Yeah.
on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Splash Mountain? Space Mountain?
Smash Mountain?
I said Splash Mountain.
Oh, I heard Smash Mountain. I was like, what are you talking
Why would
about?
That's where you go to fuck.
No,
Right,
wait.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Josh, why would you hear Smash
I
Mountain?
don't know. That's why I was so confused.
He met King Karul on the top of Smash
there we go.
Mountain.
No, I did go on
Knocked
Space
him off.
Mountain. I didn't know that they had that fucking song at the Disneyland Space Mountain. It is so good.
Yeah,
Space
it
Mountain
rips.
is fucking amazing.
Holy cow.
rips, man.
I'd only been on the Disney World Space Mountain.
Right, yeah,
the,
which
the
is not as
Disneyland
good,
one
yeah.
is so much better.
Yeah.
Disneyland does most everything better than Disney World. Disney World is bigger, but I think it dilutes sort of the fun of Disneyland.
There's sort of less charm if you go too far, right? I'm sorry, I'm a Disney adult. I don't talk about this much on the podcast, but I am firmly a Disney adult.
Of course you're a Disney adult. You're Mickey
I'm Mickey
Mouse.
Mouse. I fathered Walt Disney that one fateful night.
He came out of the birth canal located very conveniently on your taint.
Wait, are you saying that I not only fathered but mothered him?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, huh.
That's how mice reproduce.
They have both.
That's
They have
right,
both.
AJ. Yes, very good.
Yeah, they stick their dicks right into their
Drink your water.
Okay.
Donkey Kong Country, the animated series, aired on France 2 and Canal Plus in France.
Yeah.
Teletoon in Canada.
Teletoon, come on, not a serious
and
country.
TV Tokyo in Japan.
Telaloon.
And as we had mentioned,
Yeah.
it also received in the United States airings on Fox Family
Family.
Network,
Yeah.
as well as the Fox Box, which is like the Saturday morning block.
Yeah,
on
like
the
with
Fox
Digimon
Network.
and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, which I don't remember seeing it on Saturday mornings, but I do remember seeing it on weekdays on Fox Family.
So many
Hey there, you are listening to a preview of a premium episode of The Worst of All Possible Worlds. If you'd like to listen to the rest of this, head on over to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/worstofall. And you can listen to not only the rest of this episode, but our entire backlog of premium episodes, bonus episodes, and if you subscribe at the $10 tier, you will get an extra episode of the podcast every single month. Again, that is patreon.com/worstofall. Hope to see you there.